The film opens with a television promotion for Stratton Oakmont Incorporated. It examines the idea of money road intermediaries, depicting them as bulls or lions. A lion strolls through one of the floors of the organization. We next see an enormous gathering of representatives playing a game where they toss little individuals onto a board with a dollar sign for a bullseye. Jordan Belfort, Leonardo DiCaprio, then, at that point, presents himself among those playing this game. He lets us know that he is the child of two bookkeepers living in Bayside, Sovereigns. Since he began dealing with Money Road, Jordan has partaken in an existence of vast medications and endless whores. As per Jordan, he does what's necessary medications to quiet most of New York's populace. The one medication he adores the most, notwithstanding, is the one that can cause man to vanquish the world, cash. He grunts a line of coke with a $100 greenback. At the point when he was 22 years of age, Jordan started dealing with Money Road while wedded to a lady named Teresa Petrillo, Kristen Milioti. He begins functioning as a merchant and he meets his sweet-talking, nice supervisor imprint Hannah, Matthew McConaughey, alongside another grating and obscene co-chief, Peter de Blasio, Barry Rothbard. Jordan is bewildered at how everyone talks and functions. He eats with Imprint, who is doing a cadence serenade while beating his chest. Mark orders an adequate number of martinis for them to pass the fuck out. He asks Jordan how frequently he jolts off. Jordan says regarding 3 or 4 times each week. Mark says those are freshman numbers and that he does it no less than 2 times per day. He begins chattering to Jordan about how no one knows whether the stocks will go up, down, sideways, or whatever, and that it's every one of the Fugazi. Imprint's essential justification for going into stocks was basically only for. Jordan begins his most memorable day with his specialist's permit on what is October 19, 1987, otherwise known as Dark Monday. The stocks all over the planet fall, and Jordan loses his employment. At home, Teresa recommends they pawn her wedding band as he glances through the positions area in the paper. He runs over one spot in Lengthy Island, financial backer community situated in a little smaller than usual retail outlet. Jordan makes an appearance to financial backer community in a suit. The spot is just a little foundation that scarcely looks proficient, with the greater part of the merchants dressing nonchalantly and the workplace being a dirty, unkempt work area. Jordan is welcomed by Dwayne Spike Jones, the one who runs the spot. He relegates Jordan to pitch a deal for an organization called Aerotine, a little organization out of a carport in Dubuque, Iowa. Aerotine is likewise a pink sheet, low worth, stock and he will get half of the commission. Jordan calls a possible financial backer about Aerotine. He offers it to him as an enormous organization. We're blessed to receive a pic that shows it looking no greater than a device shed, however the manner in which he pitches it draws everyone's consideration. Everyone in the workplace stops how they're paying attention to Jordan, who makes an extremely smooth yet additionally exceptionally proficient attempt to sell something. He prevails with regards to making the deal and his new collaborators are dazzled. Following a couple of months, Jordan is bringing in serious cash. He is moved toward in a burger joint by a pudgy bespectacled man with fluorescent white teeth named Donnie Azoff, Jonas Lope. He inquires as to whether the Panther outside is his vehicle, to which Jordan says okay. Donnie says he lives in a similar apartment complex as Jordan and notices he works selling kids' furnishings. He asks Jordan how much cash he makes, and Jordan says he made $72,000 the earlier month. Not accepting it, Donnie requests to see a compensation stub for $72,000. Jordan hauls one out, and Donnie calls his manager to let him know he's stopping to go into stocks. Jordan and Donnie have drinks at a bar. We discover that Donnie wedded his cousin since he could have done without the possibility of any other person attempting to lay down with her. Outside, Donnie smokes some rocks and offers some to Jordan. He endures a single shot and gets siphoned, telling Donnie they need to go running. The two find a carport where they intend to set up a business. Jordan selects a portion of his companions to join. They incorporate Robbie Feinberg, Brian Saka, nicknamed Pinhead, Alden Kupferberg, Henry Zabrowski, nicknamed Ocean Otter, Chester Ming, Kenneth Choi, Nikki Koskov, PJ Byrne, nicknamed Rugrat on account of his poor hairpiece, and Brad, John Bernthal. Brad is particularly notable for making drug deals in his old area. Jordan advises Brad to sell him a pen that he hauls out of his pocket. Brad advises him to compose something. Donnie appears at Jordan's home with major areas of strength for an of Quaaludes called Lemon 714, an extremely intriguing rendition of the medication. The two take a pill each and watch Family Matters on the television, however feel no impacts. They figure out that they terminated in 1981. Naomi, pregnant once more, goes down the stairs to find the two working out. She lets Jordan know that Bo Dietl is on the line. Deedle advises Jordan to take off from his home and call in from a payphone. She lets Jordan know that Bo Deedle is on the line. Deedle advises Jordan to take off from his home and call in from a payphone. Jordan travels a mile not too far off to a nation club to utilize the payphone there. Deedle educates him regarding Brad, tapped. All of a sudden, Jordan starts to at last feel the impacts of the lemons. The pills were such a long ways past their lapse date they'd fostered a postponed combine. He begins slurring his discourse and afterward implodes to the floor, unfit to stand or walk. He creeps outside, rolls down the means, and figures out how to open the entryway of his Lamborghini with his foot. Naomi calls him to say that Donnie is acting oddly and had called Sorrel. Jordan makes an endeavor to drive his and had called Sorrel. Jordan makes an endeavor to drive his vehicle home regardless of being excessively high. He gradually figures out how to return home safe and sound and creeps his direction to the kitchen to pull Donnie, who is likewise feeling the deferred impact of the Quaaludes, off the telephone, shouting overall quite well about the FBI tuning in. Donnie rushes to stuff cold cuts in his mouth, however he begins gagging and falls on top of the glass feasting table, breaking it. Naomi runs in to find Donnie becoming blue and stifling. Jordan gets a little vial of Coke from a cabinet and empties the entire thing into his nose, compared with the Popeye animation as olive oil takes care of the Mariner Man some spinach, with the tune go. He hauls the food out of Donnie's mouth and starts to apply an unrefined type of the Heimlich move. Jordan stops for a couple of moments, thinking he'll allow Donnie to kick the bucket, until Naomi advises him that Donnie has a family. Jordan at last gets Donnie to hack up the food he was stifling on. Jordan gets up the following morning to track down the police in his home. They capture him when they show him his Lamborghini, with striking harm, regardless of Jordan accepting he got the vehicle home in one piece. A flashback shows us that Jordan didn't make it home without harming his vehicle, hitting a few different vehicles, a couple of golf trucks and a letterbox. He gets down on one person for beginning at Stratton with scarcely 2 nickels to rub together, and presently living rich when Jordan chose to try her out. He tells the merchants he adores every one of them, moving them to tears. Jordan then alters his perspective and chooses to remain, prompting cheers. He gets everyone to go along with him in the cash serenade. His dad isn't satisfied, accepting Jordan would be in an ideal situation in taking the arrangement the FBI was advertising. Jordan and Donnie take their spouses to Portofino, Italy to proceed with the festival. Rugrat calls then while they're drinking cocktail and grunting cocaine to let them know that Steve Chafe is dumping shares in the wake of finding out about Jordan. New issue with the law. To exacerbate the situation, Naomi comes crying to let Jordan know that Auntie Emma passed on from a coronary failure. Jordan is distressed, yet more because of the way that this leaves the $20 million in her record unavailable. Jordan calls Sorrel, who lets him know that Auntie Emma named Jordan the replacement to the cash. He simply has to promptly get to Switzerland. Jordan hurries to advise the chief to take them to Switzerland, regardless of Naomi's demand that they go to Britain for the burial service. Jordan accepts they can arrive at a protected harbor and that he can get a little plane to Geneva. The skipper cautions that there might be blustery oceans ahead, however Jordan couldn't care less. For sure, they truly do cruise directly into hazardous waters. Jordan orders Donnie to run and get more Quaaludes, even as Donnie objects. Jordan would rather not bite the dust sober. He runs first floor in any case and brings the medications up. Jordan accepts they can arrive at a protected harbor and that he can get a little plane to Geneva. The commander cautions that there might be turbulent oceans ahead, yet Jordan couldn't care less. For sure, they truly do cruise directly into risky waters. Jordan orders Donnie to run and get more Quaaludes, even as Donnie objects. Jordan would rather not pass on sober. He runs ground floor in any case and brings the medications up. Similarly, as a tremendous wave gets through boat and turns, the gathering is safeguarded by an Italian Naval Force helicopter brought in by Jordan. They're taken on another boat, and Jordan sees the stream he needed to get collide with the sea. He lets us know this was because of a seagull flying into the motor. He trusts this to be a sign from God. After 2 years, Jordan is snapped out of it. He is found in an infomercial promoting his money-making class, Straight Line. During a taping of the infomercial, Denim and different specialists are, Jordan expects to settle the negotiation by making rough sexual motions to everybody similarly as the financial backer signs on. From that point, Jordan makes Stratton Oakmont and structures it into a lot bigger business with considerably more intermediaries working for him. He has gatherings of aggressive and confident dealers clamoring in his office flaunting their resumes to his face. As one Strattonite makes a deal, the entire floor celebrates, with a walking band and a major gathering of prostitutes. They even have one female representative get her head shaved on the off chance that Jordan pays her $10,000 for her to use for bosom inserts. Throughout the following couple of years, insight about Stratton Oakmont prosperity gets around, from Forbes magazine to the FBI, explicitly specialist Patrick Denham, Kyle Chandler. Forbes does an axe piece on Jordan, considering him a shabby Robin Hood and naming him the Wolf of Money Road. Jordan is at first furious about it, however Teresa lets him know there's no such thing as terrible exposure and more youthful and enthusiastic representatives rush to his office. They welcome on Jordan's dad, whom everybody alludes to as Frantic Max, Lute Reiner, because of his continually bad-tempered demeanor. He regulates his child's records and scolds him and his accomplices for burning through $26,000 for a supper, intruding on their visit about involving the little individuals for their game, as seen prior. Jordan sets up a party at his Long Island oceanfront house where he declares an arrangement to take the organization into the fucking stratosphere. He is going to clarify for us the impacts of Quaaludes, yet Donnie unexpectedly rises and gradually heads toward Jordan's pool table in sluggish movement, muttering the name Stephen Rage. Steve Code, as Jordan notes, was the huge name from Lady's perspective. Jordan then sees Naomi. Interestingly, he gets down to present himself, welcoming her to go along with him on his fly ski. Donnie's better half Hildy, Mackenzie Meehan, sees this and attempts to move Jordan away from Naomi by saying Teresa needs his assistance. Donnie then goes first floor and starts jerking off to Naomi before the entire party. Jordan takes Naomi out to supper one evening. At the point when he brings her back home, she welcomes him to her condo for some tea. Jordan is incredibly enticed by her, right before she gets out of her room completely naked. The two have intercourse for 11 seconds before Jordan attempts to get it moving once more. He proceeds with his issue with Naomi for some time before Teresa discovers Jordan doing coke off her bosoms toward the rear of a limo. She hauls Jordan out and begins smacking him. She mournfully inquires as to whether he adores Naomi, yet he doesn't answer. Describing again in voiceover, Jordan says he regretted. Jordan says he regretted harming Teresa, and afterward petitioned for a legal separation 3 days after the fact. Naomi moves into Jordan's condo. She recruits a decorator to retry the spot as Jordan would prefer, and she likewise employs a gay, Jordan, Donnie, Chester, and Rugrat grill Nicholas about what he is familiar with the missing cash. Police, who capture Nicholas for taking, and beat him senseless all things being equal. Jordan figures out how to recuperate the taken money through illegal tax avoidance. Since he perceives that these practices are unlawful, he recruits a lawyer, Manny Riskin, Joe Favreau, to keep them clear. All Jordan thinks often about is that he's getting more cash than he and any other individual can under how to manage. Jordan proposes to Naomi with a yellow precious stone ring and she acknowledges. He holds a single-man party in Las Vegas, where even the plane ride comprises of a great deal of whores, liquor and a ton of cocaine. The wedding is like a quite huge occasion. Naomi acquaints Jordan with her English auntie Emma, Joanna Lumley, who knows about Jordan's cocaine use. Jordan and Naomi move out of their New York penthouse and purchase an enormous manor on Lengthy Island. He even purchased Naomi a yacht as a wedding present. It's likewise named Naomi. After 18 months, Jordan and Naomi have a girl, Skylar. At this point, the couple is continually quibbling over Jordan's tricks. He stayed asleep from sundown to sunset, referring to the name as Venice. We see she is a prostitute who hauled a lit light out of Jordan's butt during sex and poured the hot wax on his back as he continued to shout Wolfie, his security word, which she overlooks. Jordan lets us know this battling is essential for their daily schedule, which closes with them getting cozy. At the point when they put the child to bed, Naomi says she is wearing short skirts from here on out and won't be wearing underwear purposely to prod Jordan. Jordan, notwithstanding, has his own stunt to pull. He lets Naomi know that she's been recorded by Jordan's safety officers, both of whom are named Rocco. At work, it is the day of an initial public offering, first sale of stock, meeting with Steve Irritate, a women's shoe creator looking to open up to the world about his organization. Jordan gets a nerdy intermediary clean his goldfish bowl. He sends Donnie to get down on the fellow and embarrass him before everyone by gulping down the man's goldfish and afterwards sending him out while every other person sneers at him. Steve incensed, Jake Hoffman presents his most recent item, the Mary Lou's, which one representative says seem to be hefty lady shoes. The intermediaries begin tossing garbage at him, which Jordan stops. He needs Rankle to go along with them in business, which he consents to. Jordan then gets up to the stage to give a discourse to the entire floor about the miracles of being rich. The stock is sent off in the exchanging room and turns into a triumph, netting Stratton Oakmont $22 million in only 3 hours. The FBI sends the organization a summons to demand Jordan's wedding videotape. Jordan meets his confidential examiner, Bo Dietl, playing himself, where Bo lets him know that Denham has photos of Jordan's in word circle. Jordan inquires as to whether it's feasible to pay off Denham. Dietl unequivocally says no. A couple of days after the fact, Jordan welcomes Denham and his accomplice Specialist Hughes, Deb Griffin, onto the Naomi secured at a Long Island harbor. He shows them the rundown of everyone in participation to the wedding. At the point when Jordan tells Denham of a representative of his that he employed in the wake of requiring cash for his mom's triple detour medical procedure, Denham deciphers this as payoff of some kind. Jordan dismisses it and sends the specialists off his yacht. He jokingly tosses $100 notes at them as they leave. Jordan chooses to guard his cash from the duty men as well as cheats by putting away it in C-word records. He, Donnie, and Rugrat go to Switzerland to take care of business. The outing there is turbulent for Jordan since he takes a lot of quaaludes before the flight. He then, at that point, acts brilliantly toward the attendant and he affronts the pilot. He awakens tied to his seat. Donnie lets Jordan know that he attempted to begin a crazy party on the plane, dry bumping the female airline stewards and offending the plane's chief, who by and by limited Jordan in his seat. Because of Rugrat's companion in school, Sorrell convinces them to get somebody outside the US to store cash in their record. Jordan goes to London, Britain to persuade Naomi's Auntie Emma to take a portion of his fortune. This likewise prompts Jordan ineffectively, attempting to hit on her. They likewise utilize Brad Slovak's spouse Santal, Katerina Cass, to pirate cash in with her family, however she can lash a specific out up to her body to carry into Switzerland. Donnie and Brad get into a contention that, being at any rate. After a couple of seconds, Donnie uncovers that he isn't really stoned for the gathering and starts to incite Brad. Donnie had thought about literally the way that Brad had hit him. They get into one more contention with a police observing close by. Donnie drops his folder case of cash and escapes, passing on Brad to get captured. Donnie appears at Jordan's home with areas of strength for an of quaaludes called Lemon 714, an exceptionally interesting rendition of them. The FBI show up at Jordan's home to capture him when they find the note he slipped to Donnie, however not shown. The note was given to Denham by Donnie himself, logical as a component of an arrangement that will leave Donnie unaffected or having to deal with lesser penalties. While Donnie quickly erases any implicating documents on his office PC, the remainder of the co-schemers are captured in the workplace. In court, Jordan is condemned to 3 years in jail. His mom cries as her child is removed while Max sees him frustrated. At the point when he shows up at jail, Jordan concedes that he was scared when he arrived. According to Briefly, he failed to remember that he was rich. He had become so familiar with a day-to-day existence. The last scene happens at a straight line class in Auckland, New Zealand. The host is played by the genuine Jordan Belfort. Jordan emerges to the group and stands before one man. He takes out a pen and advises him to offer it to him. The man. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy, I'll put you in a grade 16. He takes out a pen and advises him to offer it to him. The man clumsily begins his pitch before Jordan removes the pen. He hands it to another, who is similarly abnormal. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. JNM Novel.